Hey guys, Tisha here, and we are back with the Sister Wives Talk Back Part 1. I am surprised that I actually wasn't completely bored by this episode. Sitting there and watching them see the different scenes and actually speak about some things did give a little bit more context to things, mainly because Christine and her willingness to no longer give a care. And as a result, it did not completely disappoint. Rather than owning what the ladies are saying, it was clear within 60 seconds that both Robin and Cody were going to make sure that they defend themselves for the things that we witness. So we begin the episode seeing the OG3, the bald eagle, and the bird getting ready to sit down and comment on the episodes. Before they even begin, the bird looks like she's extremely over it. She looks pissed. Her body language is off. She seems like she doesn't want to be there, like she doesn't even want to do it, even though she's filming this from her home on her own couch. Feel like we see little glimpses of the bird here and there because this is clearly uncomfortable for everybody involved, yet the other wives are doing it and they're approaching it with a better mindset. Worse versus hers, which her body language alone is notably different. Okay, Christine is grabbing wine because it's hard to watch old episodes and then have commentary on it. Janelle, despite having 2 wine racks full of wine, Janelle, if you're watching, I can take some of those bottles off your hand. Despite that, Janelle is going to be drinking tea because her voice is a little janky. Her throat is bothering her a little bit, and you could tell when she's talking. And we just see Mary sitting down. So they're going to be talking about the divorce and where things stand with Cody and all his wives. I'm telling you all now, there are certain things that I'm not going to discuss because some of the questions were so stupid that it's like, okay, I'm not doing that. If there is something that I don't mention, please feel free to mention it down in the comments and I will make sure that I respond to you when I can, because we all know that this is the holiday season. And to add on top of it, today is December 23rd. It's my man's B-Day. And even though I did the whole birthday stuff earlier this morning, I had to hurry up, come home so I could get this review out and then go back to the birthday festivities. But I couldn't forget you all, and the dog wasn't letting me do it there. Anyways, so Janelle says that she wishes that if she could change anything, that she would have had more boundaries and she wasn't afraid to have some of the tough conversations with her sister wives. And I just say, do it now. I would love to see Janelle call out some of her sister wives on some things, because I feel like if it were to come from someone other than Christine, that it wouldn't give Cody so much ammo. Cody is still over here saying that Janelle says that his boys are not welcome at his house is not what he said, and she doesn't like that that's what she's been telling them. And if that's truly the case, let's say Janelle made this up. Let's say that's not what was said, even though he did admit to saying it, okay? Then why has Cody not called his kids and told them to just come over the house? Why is Robin, who's supposed to be so supportive, not calling the boys and telling them to please come over the house? He continues by saying that that's Janelle's narrative, and that's one of the ways that she's continued to betray me with my boys. The Feathered Crew really thinks we're stupid. The Feathered Crew really forgets that we've seen things for what they are and how they've played out, okay? And the fact that they're doing this and the fact that they're being this way is like, okay, I guess we're blind and we cannot remember the things that we saw, and not just this season, but the last 2 ones. All right. So Christine points out that Cody can say what he wants. He can say whatever he wants, but what he truly wants is for the boys to talk to him and apologize. He wants to hear an apology from them. He wants the kids to agree with whatever he has to say, and then he'll welcome them back. I agree with Christine, but I want to know why TLC did not show Janelle's response to that. Why did they show Christine's? Is it because Christine's the only one who acknowledged it? Because these are in truth, Janelle's children. And the fact that he continues to speak this way about your boys like they're, I don't know, toddlers is concerning to me. This is part of the problem that I've had with the show for a long time, because Christine is at this point where she's being very vocal and some of the wives still are not speaking up enough. This is a segment where we are talking about Janelle's children. Janelle should speak up, okay? They get back on the divorce topic, how tender and sore Cody is, and Janelle said it's very interesting that Cody supposedly feels so badly about this divorce when he's told me for years that he didn't want to be with Christine and he didn't want to be intimate with her. I wonder at what point she told that to Christine. Why was Cody even talking with Janelle about that? He was talking with Janelle about that, and we're supposed to believe that he didn't tell Robin or any of the other wives where he stood with Christine and how he wasn't being intimate with Christine or Mary. Cody is full of crap. Excuse me. They show a clip of Janelle telling Cody that they're going to get an Airbnb and have Christmas at that Airbnb. We see Cody saying this is exactly what he thought was going to happen, that this is his house. Janelle then points out how he has other wives with other homes, that he could have done Christmas at their home with the kids. But him standing there saying, or sitting there saying, that is his house, referring to Robin's house, showed her a lot. And it did, because let's be clear, he could have easily done it at Mary's house. Mary's house was big enough, and we saw where they sat outside, where Mary was contemplating whether or not she should invite everyone. And she was basically discouraged by the bird and the bald eagle not to do so. So what do you mean that y'all could have had it at your house? It makes no sense. Christine says how he could, she says, how could they do it at the house if they're not welcomed at the house because they have not yet apologized? And it's true. We then have Mary saying this is what he does. He did the same thing to her. So what is the truth about the situation? Because Cody continues to change this narrative, and yet we haven't seen him invite the boys to his home. Why haven't they been invited to the home? If you're so worried about what's going to happen, tell Robin and the other children to leave and have whatever this discussion that you so are in desperate need to have with your kids, who are young men at this point. They come back from a commercial break with a photo of Flagstaff in the year of 2073, and they show that there's still nothing on Coyote Pass, yet there's this large city that looks like it could be in New York or Chicago or something because of how tall the buildings are and how high they are. And you see just the picnic table on Coyote Pass covered with moss. And Cody laughs at it and says that the picture is probably accurate because they really probably aren't going to do anything out there. And Robin just happens to notice that the table is over there. I heard that they paid off the land. So Janelle, sell your portion, because here he is saying that he's probably not going to do anything out there, which means the parts of it that have his name on it, he's going to make it difficult for you to go out there and to build whatever it is that you want to build on this land to see these people, which makes no sense. Sell it and do whatever you want to do. If you want to stay in that area because you like Flagstaff and some of your children have planted roots there, then so be it. But stop being tied to this man who is sitting here laughing about a meme that is in 50 years showing that you've still done nothing on this land. Cody feels that Janelle only wants to have Christmas with Christine because of the fact that she presented the Airbnb thing, when I guess that he forgets that we saw that she invited him to come over. Robin then says, is that what she said? And he says, no, that's my interpretation. Robin says, you don't want to do Christmas separate, do you? And he says, no, I don't want to do Christmas separate. She says, but she keeps saying that you want to do it separate. Come on now. As I said before, we saw the whole conversation that happened outside of Mary's house. You did not encourage Cody to do it. So he does want to do it separate. You all want to do it separate. They didn't even end up having Christmas Eve at Mary's house. We saw everything being done at Robin's. So as usual, everybody's supposed to come to you. He says that she's telling the boys to certain things to specifically get them to doing this. To I guess not coming to him and talking to him. I don't know. Even if it were true, what would it take for Cody to welcome his boys over for Christmas? It's a simple phone call. Cody did not want them over there. He says, beep sister wives. I'm thinking he said F the sister wives. And that is when Robin interjects. And I was sitting here thinking that Robin was gonna correct him for saying that. And what she did instead was she just mentioned the fact that she was offended that he cursed and said the sister wives, because it's not a sister wives thing. Like, out of all of that, out of the fact that you haven't seen this man really make effort with his kids, you're going to get upset because he said F the sister wives. Priorities, I'm telling you. They show themselves more and more as we watch. He says, we had a family that was working together, and now they're trying to blame you and me and all those years we were in Vegas, all working together. So here he's saying that they're working together, but later on he's going to say that it was 20 years of dysfunction. So which one was it? The Bird says her problem, excuse me, is that he always points out the sister-wife relationships and he never talks about his actual issues. That's the first thing that she said that I agree with, because he never does talk about his actual issues, which that's the opportunity for him to say what his actual issues are. And this fool says, well, it's lack of loyalty. He's a broken record and he has nothing else to say other than lack of loyalty. Okay. Janelle feels Cody is angry because he wanted this big unified family and he didn't get it. He feels angry because little by little he's witnessed it dissolving. And I just have to say, I don't care about him being angry because that's his fault. And shouldn't the other wives be able to feel angry too, because he's part of the reason why it dismantled? Christine points out that Cody likes to blame her for her bad relationships that she has with her sister wives. So she doesn't understand why Cody isn't willing to take the blame for the bad relationships that he has with his kids. And that is very true. Cody's response to this is, she takes away access from my children. She has access to my children and I don't. Of course, Cody is offended, but it's true. These children are not babies anymore. They're young adults that he could have very easily reached out and tried to work things through. But if you don't do what Cody wants you to do and say what Cody wants you to say, then he does not want to deal with you, which is part of the reason by the time we saw them filming this show and Christine constantly complaining about all the different things that happened and how Cody was doing things and wasn't doing things and was spending more time with other wives and et cetera, Cody had started to get over Christine. He did not like Christine pointing out his issues. He did not like Christine telling him no. He is sitting here using being kicked out of her bedroom as an excuse not to come over and see his kids. She told you she didn't want you in the room anymore. She did not say, don't come to my house. He gives this whole long speech and talk about how he has had an experience with the children in his home, and that's where his experience is, and she had kicked him out. So how is he supposed to have the experience outside of the home when he's used to having them inside of the home? Excuse me, y'all correct me down below if I'm wrong, but aren't most of the children out of the home anyways? Most of these kids don't even live at home. They have their own apartments. Garrison bought his own house where his brother is living. Gwen is with her wife living in another apartment. the other children are in other places. You got some in Vegas, you got some in Carolina, they're all Utah, they're all over the place. So what are you talking about? It makes no sense. Janelle says that Christine did a lot for her kids, and she has always been very bonded to her, just like her kids have been. She loves her kids because they've had good times and bad times. And even with all of that, they've remained together. And that is true. Janelle says that Cody says that she undermines him, but he considers her undermining him because she has her own opinion. But her opinion doesn't matter, and he doesn't take what her feelings are into account. He makes additional excuses for why he doesn't have an influence on his kids, because he says that he doesn't have as much exposure as the mothers have. Once again, making an excuse for the things that are his fault and the reasons why he doesn't have influence. You don't have influence because, unlike the moms who care about their kids and who listen to the kids, you don't. You also don't make time for them. It is Cody's fault why things are the way that they are. You can't sit here and have multiple wives, because it wasn't just Janelle. It was also Christine that said that Cody wouldn't come over to the house until 6 o'clock at night. And then he would leave early in the morning to go to Robin's house to get the kids together. And he's admitted to this. You tell me that you can't do this with your other wives. That window that we have with our family, not just our kids, is very small. We spend more time with our co-workers than we do with our family. When I come home from work, my son is already in his room doing his homework. Maybe he'll be out at the desk in here. But the point is, he's doing his thing. We only have a short period of time to interact with one another, because at some point he's going to go to bed. And that's the same thing here. If you're coming to your house at 6 o'clock and you're on your phone and you're not interacting with your children and you're not asking them how their day was and you're not talking to them about pivotal things, and we're hearing from your kids that you sit there on the phone or you don't engage with them, at what point in time do you get to be a father and show that you care? Cody didn't do his part. They show a clip of Janelle saying that she doesn't want to be with a man who isn't there for her kids, and how she doesn't know who this man is because he's no longer engaged as a father. The bird looks at him and says, "Do you want to be an engaged father?" Let's go back here for a second, because this just came to me, okay? Christine said a long time ago that her kids did not get to spend a lot of time with Cody. Cody, admittedly so at some points, spent more time with Janelle's kids. Cody is very attached to the boys, right? And I think some of that comes from the fact that Cody, as he said, was very into athletics. He has wrestlers and football players and things of that nature. And a few of Janelle's boys followed down this path. And that was a way for him to be connected to them. Once Robin's kids came along, some of that interaction changed for his kids. So this is kind of why there's a little bit of a disconnect there. Now, let me get back. Cody's response is, it would be nice if she would make it easy for me to be engaged with my children, but she separated me from them. So now Janelle too is being responsible for him being separated from his kids and from building a relationship with their father. And I'm going to tell you like this. This is not the wife's job. It's getting dark in here. Let me turn on a little light for you. This is not the wife's job. Okay? It is not the wife's job to make sure that these grown children are connected to their father. I remember when my son was younger, about to tell my business, and I had left, right? And I was no longer with his father. And what I found myself doing was overextending myself, because I did not want to be the reason that they did not maintain their relationship. So what did I do? I would get in the vehicle and I would drive maybe 2 hours to him and then leave my child with him, go home, and then within a day or two, I'd be doing the same thing over again, driving 2 hours, dropping him off, coming back. Sometimes he would meet me in the middle, so it'd be like an hour and change, and then I go back, right? Then it got to the point where it was just me doing it, just me bringing him out there. Whenever I went into town, I bring him, he see him, and then he bring him back. And I got to the point where I noticed I'm coming all this way for you to see your child, and you're only seeing him for all of a couple hours. Why am I wasting my gas doing this, wasting my time doing this? Because I'm trying to force you to engage. It's not fair to the moms, in this case me, and it isn't fair to the children. If you want a relationship, step outside of yourself and do it. Have the relationship. Period. Him talking like that, it really got on my nerves, because it's like, come on. If you care about your children, then you'll make a way to do those things, especially when at this point, these kids are not little kids anymore. The youngest one that he has with Janelle was 17 then, truly might have been 12. You could have made effort, but you didn't, and you didn't reach out to your kids. Robin asks the question again, do you want to be an engaged father? And he says, of course I do. And she nods her head and says, that's what I thought. That's when Robin should have said, okay, so how are you going to go about engaging them? What are you going to do to start this process? But that's not what Robin does. What Robin does is she pitches the ball and tries to make some way for Cody to hit it by like throwing him a bone. But we see past all of this. She asks him these questions because she wants him to answer yes, like we just can't see it. And I don't like it. These are not infants, as I said before. We just don't care. He doesn't have to interact with the moms to engage with them. They all have phones. Talk to them on their phones. It's one of the first things I did. My child had a phone when he was 8 years old for that very reason, because I wanted to make sure that he could call whenever he wanted to call, and they could have their own dynamic that didn't have to include me so heavily. Just the thing, like, this is common sense, people. He said that he's probably had some relationship issues with his kids, but that just comes because of the misrepresentation that they get of him from their moms. He's a liar. That's not why it comes. They've seen your representative for many, many years, and they're tired of it. They show a clip with Cody saying that this is a betrayal, and Robin saying how they couldn't say anything while he was asking for backup there when he was talking to, I think it was Christine or Janelle, I can't remember who, about the issues that they were having between their wives. And I'm just, because that's not what you do in polygamy, but you talk about the issues all the time. So why are you sitting here acting like the man didn't tell you these things? It's a constant, we're going to play in your face and act like you don't see what this is thing. And it annoys me. We are told that Cody said things to Janelle about Mary and Christine. We are told that Cody said things to Christine about Mary and Janelle. So, of course, he said things to Robin. He did not keep the other wives out of their issues. He then tells her that Mary used to weigh in, and she says, yeah, and there became issues from Mary weighing in. Christine is no longer naive, and she has a toaster. Her sister sent it to her because she saw the episode with her talking about what toasters do, and her sister felt that it was ridiculous. We then get back to Janelle that says, when Robin came into the family, they were definitely good. They were working together as a team. They were truly engaged and working hard and making sure that the kids were being siblings and hanging out together as a team. Y'all don't know what's going on with the lighting today. I'm sorry. I don't got time to fix it. Just listen to me. They were truly engaged and working hard to make sure that the kids were being siblings as well as hanging out. I don't even know if they were in a good place or not, because those parents did make sure that Robin and her children were being put into the family. Like, they made sure that they were being included in things. And they were really focusing on the kids. So whether or not they were having issues, it wasn't being pushed onto the children. Okay? She said before all of this, back in the day, you would never hear Cody use words like, this person is loyal. And now he just does it, and he says it so blatantly. Christine says that the big family was great, and she thought that what they had was cool, and they were working really hard to make sure that everybody felt welcome with the merge. And they were. They show a clip of Robin saying she wonders if there's things that she didn't know because the whole thing with Cody and Christine floored her. I still don't understand how she thinks that this narrative works, because we saw many times where Christine said that Robin being added, she felt like it wasn't done right, and that there was a betrayal, and that Cody wasn't dividing his time equally, and things of that nature. It even said it in the book. So her sitting there saying that she feels stupid because she didn't know about these issues is a lie. Christine says that she had plenty of honest heart-to-hearts with Robin when she first came into the family. She says Robin was very aware that her and Cody were struggling back then. She knew that Mary and Christine were struggling back then. She said that even at one point, she was involved with counseling where they talked about this. Rather than acknowledging what truly happened, because Robin asks, like, what do you think led to some of the issues with Christine? He talks about the one home thing, which did not come up until they moved to Flagstaff. So that's a lie too, because we know that they were having a lot of problems in Vegas. He claims that once he asked Christine why she didn't want to be in the one home, it brought up a whole bunch of issues from the past, and he basically got to the point where he couldn't forgive her anymore. Christine says that, oh God, y'all, sorry for the people being loud outside of the window. Christine says that that's not true. Janelle confirms that he started gravitating more towards Robin in her house, and it got to the point where he was at her house more, and then he kept talking to Janelle about Robin, and that made things different for sure. So that means that Janelle started noticing differences back when they were in Vegas. Mary feels like it's a combination of things, that she can't pinpoint the one thing that caused the demise, but she does say that part of the thing is they stopped working together. He tells Robin that Christine saying that she couldn't be one family made him feel like he couldn't really like it or her anymore, because that's not what she wanted to do. Mary never really answered the question, because Mary knew that if she did, and if she told her true feelings about the one home, then Cody would have a problem, which is why whenever they came up to the whole one home concept back in that season, Mary acted like, I can see the good and the bad. I can see both. Cody lies trying to explain things to Robin, but I'm not repeating it because I'm tired of his lies. If there's something, as I said before, that was said that you want to talk about, put it down in the comment section, because Cody was getting on my nerves. We then see flashbacks about how Robin thought that this was a safe place for her and her kids, and now she's not sure it is. And Christine says what all of us were thinking in that moment was that this is complete BS. She said he got favorites, she got mad, she nagged, she picked at him because she was expecting more, and she will gladly admit that. And I'm like, right on, Christine. You did get upset because he had favorites, and that was fair. Janelle says that she would have stayed if Cody could have stayed the father that he was to her kids for many, many years. And once she saw that that relationship had broken down with her kids, it wasn't worth it anymore. Janelle still loves him. There's more to it than that, because you're not staying with a man just for the sake of your kids. If that was the case, there would be a lot of single moms out there that would still be with ain't poopadoop dads. Excuse me, because of the kids. You could have left. You had the financial means that you could have left. Cody says that the first 20 years of their marriage weren't functional, even though he told us earlier that it was. So that's a contradiction right there. Christine says, yes, there were times where things were difficult, but she would not say that it was dysfunctional back then. Mary believes that it did work for many years in the beginning. Cody feels that polygamy has been something that he's failed so badly at that he doesn't think or believe it's for him. This was a question asking him if he still believes in polygamy. And that's just a simple no. You could say all that spill, the answer is no. Janelle says that once Robin came into the family, there was a shakeup. Christine says the family tradition stopped. Cody disagrees with it and says this is them once again trying to blame her for something that isn't true, that they did continue the traditions and they added on to them. So my question is it a lie if we know that you haven't had Thanksgiving and Christmas together, and we also know that you didn't do a gift exchange last year? Did Mary hang out with them for Easter? No, so it is some truth to it. He said they have to be referring to the Friday night gatherings that they ended in Las Vegas, but they ended it because of the older children. It was something that they used to do every single Friday night. Robin says that she hated that they finished it. She was so mad that they all stopped. He laughs and he says that they stopped it because all the older kids had things that they were doing on Friday nights and some Saturdays, but you still had little kids. So why didn't you continue the tradition with them? That's my point. If there's truth to it, you could have done something else. Okay. They show Christine and Mary rolling around wrestling, and Mary says despite how things are now, she will always cherish those fun times that she had with Christine, and she wishes that they could have it again, even though she knows that they won't. They show Mary and Robin talking about how Christine said that she didn't want to have a relationship with them. Christine said, I didn't say that I didn't want to have a relationship with them. I said I wanted things to stay the way they are, which is what she said. She said for some reason, Robin heard it as I don't want to have anything to do with her or her kids, and that's not what was true. So nice of her to speak kindly of her. Just say that Robin blatantly lied, because that's what she did. And she kept saying it even though she was corrected, and she probably saw the episode. She said the sad thing is that she lost communication with Robin's kids after this. And I don't think that even if Christine didn't say that there would be a way for her to have a dynamic with them, because if Cody is so upset about Christine's interaction with Janelle and his other kids, I'm sure he would be completely livid that she remained okay with Robin and Robin's children, even though she wasn't okay with the two of them. Mary still believes that she did not hang on too long, and she says the reason why is because by the time that they parted ways, they were able to split amicably, and they're both at peace with it. He said if Mary doesn't get bitter after this divorce, then they can get along very well. Mary has been divorced with you for a really, really long time. At this point, it doesn't even matter. He said because as he's watching it, he still sees the face of somebody that he thinks of as a friend. And because Mary hasn't spoken ill of him, that's why he says this. But Mary's very cautious with her words. Mary knows that she has to continue to play this role if she wants to continue to remain on his good side. I don't know what Cody has on Mary or what that situation is, but Mary still has one foot in there, even though she's supposedly divorced, because she's just not coming out and saying things. And I'm not saying she has to be like like Christine and reveal everything, but give us a little bit more. Don't be so like even kill, which may be why they didn't show Mary as much in this episode. Robin laughs and said, you said that, but you just said you don't get along. He says, we don't, but I still think about her since the divorce, and I miss her. Robin starts laughing because in this moment she feels vindicated. Cody doesn't even see how the more he speaks is the more he just seems stupid to me. At this point, we don't care. Christine says that despite Cody thinking things about me turning the kids against him and trash talking him, I did not speak ill of him to the children. They talked about their problems that they were having. I listened. I talked about my feelings and how I was hurt. And I didn't see plural marriage for myself anymore, whether it was with Cody or anybody else. I think that Christine did more than what she's saying she did, and it's okay. They're not little babies anymore. It's okay for you to divulge some things. Just, leave it at that. Janelle says, Cody always says the thing where he has done so much to sacrifice for the relationship. And that's a red flag right there, because if he feels like he had to sacrifice for a relationship, then it's better that it's over, because it's two people that are a part of the equation in marriage. Christine, as usual, goes out of her way to bring the kids, and she tells him, you know that they're going to be here for, Thanksgiving. I'm going to bring them here so they can spend Thanksgiving with you. And his response to her is that she needs to get them tested because Aurora hasn't had COVID yet. Christine was bothered by it, but Christine wasn't bothered by it because he wanted them to be tested. Christine was bothered by it because she thought he would be like, okay, they're coming, cool. Thank you so much for bringing the kids and for making it so that they can come over for the holidays. But instead, he made it about COVID. Cody doesn't appreciate anything that woman does. We then have Robin saying, Cody, you were trying to protect Aurora. You weren't a bad person. She's not saying that he's a bad person for trying to get them tested. She's saying that he was wrong for not being excited about her bringing the kids. And as usual, the bird changes this into something else, and she twists things for her feather thinning bald eagle, because that's what she does. Robin is very much so a part of the problem, and Robin doesn't listen to understand. Robin listens to respond, and she doesn't hold her beautiful husband that she loves oh so much accountable for any of the crap that he does. She said when Cody got sick, it was like the whole world revolved around him for being sick. And this is how he always is, according to Christine. Robin looks so disturbed by the comment. Mary laughs and says she's not wrong, meaning this is what Cody always does. We have two wives saying that Christine isn't wrong for saying that the world revolves around him. But here comes the bird again, basically ready to swoop down and make sure that the bald eagle is protected. She says, when you were sick, you kept pushing and you just kept taking care of the kids while I was on my deathbed, basically. What freaking deathbed? Stop with the COVID-ish. It is very offensive to those of us who have lost friends and loved ones from the pandemic, who witnessed via tablets because we couldn't go into the hospitals to see them, our loved ones being unresponsive, who witnessed, because this happens, life performing measures happening to our loved ones because the COVID has taken the breath out of their bodies. That is death's bed. And it pisses me off that they continue to have this narrative, and they're so insensitive to the people who've actually gone through it. It's not right. And the fact that TLC continues to allow them to do that is infuriating to me. People lost real people, and because those two individuals always have to be at the center of attention and always have to have someone feel that what they do is just so important, and God forbid if they got any type of sickness, the world is supposed to stop for them, is insane. I hate that they do this. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I do. Sorry, y'all. I did not mean to. Ooh, geez. It really makes me mad. It's not right. It's insulting, and I'm tired of it because it keeps coming up, and it's not right. They end the clip with, I did not mean to do that on camera. They end the clip with Christine laughing about, being so happy that she's no longer with Cody. And she's not married to him anymore. And Robin looks at him and says, I'm so sorry. But Christine is happy. Good for Christine. Good for Christine. Because Christine has suffered with this man for a long time. And Christine does deserve to be happy. Robin then talks about how bad she saw him being through during COVID and all that other stuff. And I don't want to go back over it because I really didn't mean for it to turn into that. But it bothers me. He's lost his optimism supposedly from COVID, when really what it is his ego is completely damaged and bruised because these women have left him. His children aren't talking to him, and he can't fathom a world where they don't come back crawling asking for his forgiveness. You all, please let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. I did not realize this was going to be so long. Sorry again for my little rant at the end. I did not know it was going to turn into that, but I just feel like we have to be more considerate of each other. This is a show. Yes, I understand. But when it comes to certain things, I'm not going to let you sit around and get away with it and act like that is not something that affected millions of people. The pandemic is still out there. We can have whatever thoughts we want to have about boosters and all those other things. I'm not going down that lane. I'm not going down the political lane. That's not my thing, okay? I vote. You make sure you go and vote. That's about the most you're going to hear me say about that. If you choose not to wear a mask, that's on you. It works for some people, doesn't work for others. I'll say this much. During the pandemic, I was fortunate enough to not have COVID. I had several tests done because there were times where people at my job had it or someone near to me had it and all those other things, but I did not experience it. But I witnessed what it was like to lose someone from it. So knowing this, be safe out there, you guys, and let's really be more considerate of each other. As I'm ranting, but I really feel the need to say that because this show is a show, but there's certain things that I just feel like they shouldn't allow to happen. And that whole COVID thing with Robin and Cody is one of them. Please leave your thoughts and opinions down below. Like the video if you have not already. I may not see you all again until after the holidays, even though I did a little bit of pre-recording, but if not, happy holidays to you all. For those of you who this is a difficult time of year, I'm with you. I understand. I'm sending you virtual hugs. You see my shirt, my brother's keeper. This is my brother who passed away. Holidays are tough for various reasons for us all. And I just want to let you know that even though it may feel like at times that you're alone, that you're not. And if you're in a situation where you feel yourself needing a pick-me-up, call someone, okay? Don't let it get to the point where you sit in that sadness, okay? I know it's easier said than done, but you got to keep pushing and you got to keep fighting, okay? Until next time.